I may keep you waiting, but trust me, Juan is gonna keep me waiting even longer until he shows up to a reunion with me. Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. I am Raphael and I am here to review part 3 of the reunions of the real husbands who are always missing from the reunion of Potomac. So we start off right where we left off with Wendy questioning Giselle about her tummy tuck and asking her, so you got a tummy tuck, Giselle, and that didn't help you keep Jamal or your marriage, right? And then Giselle, she's trying to reply to Wendy, but Wendy keeps talking over her. Eventually Giselle is like, well, the reason why I got a tummy tuck was because I had 2 children, so that's why. And Wendy's like, exactly, so if you had your own body done for your children, why do you assume that I got my body done for a man? You know, I got my body done because I had children, 3 of them specifically. And then Mia jumps in and Mia's like, wait, so like, Wendy, is that the reason why you got your ass done? I mean, your ass, like, it looks very different. Is that the reason why you got it done? And then Wendy's like, yes, that's the reason why I got my ass done, because I was flat. I was looking like SpongeBob SquarePants. Is that a problem, Mia? You're not even in this conversation anyways. And then Andy finally changes the conversation. He's like, Wendy, why were you so upset with Robin and Giselle when in fact it was Ashley who brought up the Eddie cheating rumors in the group in the first place? And Wendy's like, well, I usually go for the biggest snake and I cut their head off because I seen the first Anaconda movie, the one with Jennifer Lopez in it, and I know that that's what you have to do to defeat a snake. You have to cut their head off. So that's exactly what I did, because I know that Robin and Giselle are liars and they were spreading this rumor around. And then Robin, first of all, Robin and Giselle are both full of shit, because first of all, Giselle, you know exactly what you were doing by saying, oh, you know, did Wendy get her body done for Eddie? I think that that's what she's doing. Yes, that's exactly what you were claiming to do. Even the footage that they played, it showed you saying, yeah, I think that that's why she got her body done. So you saying that, oh, you're so concerned and you're so, you know, concerned for your friend, that's a bunch of BS. Robin, now she's pretending. Wait, I don't know what rumor you were talking about, Wendy, because when Ashley went to go have that one-on-one conversation with you, I was confused as to what rumor you were talking about when you addressed me after. So I'm confused about that. And Wendy's like, no, you were not confused about it because you had texted me back in January about this rumor, so you knew exactly what I was talking about. But Robin, she claimed over and over and over again that she had no idea what Wendy was talking about. And then Wendy, Wendy, in my Whitney Houston voice, she brought out her receipts. You know, everybody's trying to have a Monique moment all of a sudden, and she's like, okay, you don't believe me? Give me 1 second. Okay, so what is this, Robin? Huh? What is this? This is you texting me from my phone and to your phone. We had a conversation that you had texted me that Eddie was in love with a white woman. So explain what is this? And everybody was just cringing. Andy was cringing. Andy was probably like, yeah, I'm definitely not gonna. I don't think I'm gonna give her the champagne flute for next season, because what is this? And he even looked at it and he was like, Wendy, what is this? And she's like, this is the receipt. She was so proud of it. I can only imagine her going to the local Staples or Walmart and saying, oh, hey, so I wanted to print out this huge thing, like this huge text receipt. Do you think that you can do it for me? I'm on this show. I don't know if you know it. It's called The Real Housewives of Potomac. Do you watch it? What do you mean you only watch the Beverly Hills one? What do you mean you only watch Atlanta? Okay, well, Potomac. You remember Potomac? Okay, yeah, now you watch it, right? Was that your favorite last season? Wait, what do you mean I was annoying with my degrees? Anyways, can you print this out for me? I'm gonna have this text message at the reunion for season 6, and I'm gonna try to put it in the Hall of Fame. So do you think you could print this out for me? Like, I can only imagine the awkward conversation that she had with the employee, and the employee was probably like, okay, they don't pay me enough for this shit, but okay, I'll go print your shit out right now. Andy moves the conversation over to Giselle, and he's like, so Giselle, how come you didn't pull Wendy aside the same way that you pulled Robin aside to talk about these issues and concerns that you had about Wendy and her life? And Giselle's sorry-ass excuse was, oh, well, I was going to do that. That was going to be my initial plan, but I decided not to do it last minute because Wendy got defensive all of a sudden out of nowhere. And I'm like, Giselle, you're saying it as if she got defensive out of nowhere for no reason. You, Robin, Ashley, and Mia were all attacking her, especially on the trip earlier in the season about her body and speculating all these reasons on why she got her body done. And then you want her to just be like, oh, okay, I'll accept it. Of course she's going to be defensive, Giselle. Like, are we not watching the same show? Like, what world is Giselle in? If Giselle would have brought this conversation up to you one-on-one, would you still have been okay? I mean, it still would have been played out the same way in front of the cameras. And then Wendy's like, yes, it still would have been played out in front of the cameras, but at least I could give her some leg room and some space to stand on what she said instead of, you know, using this excuse of, oh, she cares about me. She cares about me. She's so concerned, because in reality, Giselle does not care. You know, she does not care why Wendy got her body done. She's just trying to expose her or trying to make a moment out of these cheating rumors. And then Mia, her to have the audacity to jump in and say, well, I mean, first of all, if the cheating rumors aren't true, Wendy, why does it matter? Why does it, like, concern you and, like, bother you so much? Like, I just don't get it. And, I'm just like, okay, Mia, the same thing could be applied to you. Why were you upset that Candice said that your mom was low budget if that's the case, if we're using your logic, right? I mean, wouldn't that be the same thing? And then Wendy's like, first of all, that is my husband. I could care about his image and what people have to say about him. So, me and you are different people and we react to different things. Again, Mia, not everybody has to react the same way that you do just because you're a little bit more calmer about things. Andy continues his questioning with Giselle by asking her, so why do you think that you and your daughters deserve an apology from Karen, but you can't apologize to Wendy and her children for the things that you've been speculating about their father and her husband? Why can't you do that? And then Giselle, her sorry ass excuses, again, more sorry ass excuses. Hers is, oh, well, I mean, wouldn't her children want to know that women like me and Robin don't really believe those cheating rumors about their dads? Wouldn't they want to know that? And then Wendy's like, yeah, that doesn't make sense. And yeah, Giselle, it's not making sense because as many times as you want to put it out there that you never believe these rumors throughout the season, that's not what it sounded like. Your tone was more like, I don't really believe those Eddie cheating rumors. Wink, wink. That was your tone throughout the season. Like, yeah, you may have said, I don't believe them, but your tone was always just like, yeah, I don't really believe it. Maybe. That was your tone, Giselle. So all of this BS that you're bringing to the reunion now, it's a bunch of BS. Andy continues on by asking Wendy, so why do you think that your marriage should be the only one excluded from being talked about on the stage? Because everybody's marriage on the stage has been talked about in one way or another. And then Ashley jumps in and Ashley's like, yeah, I'm sorry, Wendy, but if we have questions or concerns or we want to talk about something in certain people's marriages, we have to talk about it. Why should we censor ourselves? And I'm like, wait, hold on, Ashley. Rewind a little bit. Rewind that last part that you said. Why should we censor ourselves? So why does Candice need to censor herself? I'm just curious. I mean, I don't know. Are we just censoring ourselves when it comes to marriages or just in general? Because I'm pretty sure the last part of the reunion, everybody was trying to censor Candice, but... And Wendy's issue with Giselle is that Giselle only brought up this blog when it concerned Wendy and her husband and these cheating allegations. She never took ownership of, oh yeah, this blog also talked about me and it spread rumors about me paying somebody to be my husband and also me claiming that I had some type of STD. She left that part out, but she was, full on with the whole, oh yeah, I had this blog posted about Eddie cheating on you. Let's talk about that. She kind of left half of the story out instead of saying, oh, those are probably false rumors anyway, because look what they're saying about me. So that's Wendy's issue with Giselle. And she's like, you never discussed it with me. And Giselle is telling Wendy that we would have talked about it if we were on speaking terms, but we weren't. And Wendy's like, wait, so we weren't on talking terms? You didn't speak to me? You didn't call me? You didn't do any of that? And Giselle is like, no, we didn't do that. I don't know what you're talking about. And Wendy's like, so why were you saying in your confessionals that you talked to me and that you called me? And Giselle's like, and no, you called me. No, wait, Jamal called me. No, Juan called me. No, I think it was you that called me. Maybe it was Karen that called me. No, you definitely called me. And then we see Wendy, she starts digging in her ass. And I'm like, wait, what is she doing? Is she about to pick out a wedgie or something? What is she doing? And then she pulls out a stack of papers. And I'm like, first of all, Wendy, you cannot be taking out a bunch of papers like that were underneath your ass for who knows how long and just waving it around in the air. That probably has ass juice on it. It probably smells like ass and sweat and everything. I mean, you're just waving it around in Andy and Karen's face. Who knows how long you've been sitting there filming this reunion and you're just waving around these papers like that? Like, no, put some spray or some Febreze or something, get one of your candles, get one of La Dame candles and kind of light that up if you're going to put out some papers that you've been sitting on for who knows how long. But regardless, she pulls them out and she's like, look, I got these papers right here. You're a liar, Giselle. I got this one right here. Look, this one right. Oh, wait, no, that's my BBL receipt. No, that's not the one. This one, you're a liar. You see my receipt right here? Oh, no, this is my breast receipt. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Okay, no, you're a liar. You see, you're a liar. Oh, wait, no, this is my receipt because I brought 3 candles from Karen last week. Okay, no. Let me see, which one? Hold on. I'm going to have my moment. Hold on, Andy. This is going to be iconic. Hold on, everybody's going to be talking about this, and I'm going to be an iconic housewife. Okay, here we go. You're a liar, Giselle. See, you called me on, you see, you called me on this date right here and we talked for a minute. Remember we talked about it? Remember we discussed things? And I'm like, okay, Wendy, what are you trying to prove here? Like, everybody was so confused and so lost. I thought it was so lame. And I'm like, Wendy, no, you're going out in the worst way because you were so good throughout the entire season. And what happened at this reunion? Why did you think that you had to come out of 10 in this reunion to try to make a moment, especially pulling out all these receipts and shit? I thought I was watching a magician show for a second with all these tricks she kept pulling out. I was just expecting her to take out a hat with a bunny in it. I'm like, Wendy, 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 like, stop it. Even Andy looked at it and was like, what are you doing? And he even grabbed it himself and he's like, this doesn't prove anything. We went from the binder to this. What a fall. I can't believe this. Like, I think this might be your last season. I also liked the little moment between Candice and Ashley as Wendy and Giselle kept going back and forth over Wendy's receipts because Candice was like, oh, I can't believe this. I need a drink after this. I need a drink and a pillow because this is just too much. And then Ashley, she replied to Candice by saying, yeah, I need a beer. Actually, no, I need a shot. And they both kind of giggled at each other. And I'm like, oh, look at that. Both of you want to be friends. Candice, just kind of get over the issues between you and Ashley and try to mend your relationship with Ashley. I know it could be difficult, but I know there's still some hope if both of you could have a conversation and kind of laugh at this when it has nothing to do with both of you. But Andy's like, okay, let's just end this conversation. Okay, anybody has any last statements? And then Ashley's like, Wendy, I am so sorry for making you feel the way you did about your new body. I am so sorry everything went left. I mean, I was trying to plant the seed for next season because next season I actually wanted to go against you. It was going to be Ashley versus Wendy for season 7. But, looking back on it, I kind of regret it now. So I'm so sorry. I'm not going to make that my storyline for next season. And then Wendy's like, okay, thank you. I accept your apology. Thank you for that. But, it would have been nice if the same apology that came out of Ashley's mouth would have came out of Robin and Giselle's mouth because both of them never say sorry for anything or for making Wendy feel the way she felt throughout the entire seasons. But, again, they'll never take accountability for anything. And it only took us getting to the third part of this reunion for Robin to finally get a one-on-one segment with Andy. And he starts talking to her about her seasonal depression, how Juan didn't have a good reaction to it, and he kept driving away from her as if he was in a Fast and the Furious movie, and how she kind of let the opportunity of her hat business and Bezo slip away from being sold at the Dollar Tree and Walmart. But apparently, according to Robin, her hat business has helped her pay off her taxes and the house that her and Juan have been getting built for the past decade. And I'm like, first of all, Robin, who is buying her hats? Like, kudos to her for if she actually is getting the sales that she needs to pay off whatever she needs in life. But I just want to see at least one person with the hat. Just one person in a picture promoting the hat. Andy then asked everybody to raise their hand if they believe that Robin and Juan are going to get married for next year. And everybody was just kind of looking at each other like, Giselle was the only one to raise her hand fully, but that was as expected. And I know that Robin was probably so upset on that couch. She was probably like, yeah, I'm not going to give them a discount on my embezzled hats anymore. But Mia's like, well, if she says that they're going to get married next year, then she's going to get married. Let the girl get married. And then Andy moves the conversation over to Ashley, and he's like, so Ashley, why does Michael always assume and know that Juan is not going to be marrying Robin anytime soon? And then Ashley kind of makes a joke out of it, and she's just like, yeah, more awkward laughing. Hold on, Andy. Let me continue laughing while I think of an excuse. But we all know it's because Michael has that side chick intuition. So Andy continues on with Robin by telling her, so the last time we saw you and Juan at the finale, you two weren't on good terms because you're very concerned about his presence in your child's life. So what's that about? And Robin proceeds to tell Andy that, yeah, she may be 42 now, but she's given Juan until she's 43, which is a year or a couple of months for him to get her pregnant. And I'm just like, I don't know, Robin. Again, I'm not a marriage counselor or anything, but I just feel like if Robin gets pregnant by Juan, that is going to cause even bigger issues in Robin's life. Because Juan, I don't know. Will he really change? I don't know. Look at how he's been this season. He's not even present at this reunion for you. And your excuse is always because it's basketball season. Basketball season must be from January 1st to December 31st with his schedule because we never see him next to you. So do you really want to get pregnant by him? Do you really want to, force yourself to be pregnant just to keep him? I don't know. The same thing that Wendy and Giselle were going on with each other. Like, oh yeah, we're just having surgeries just to keep our husbands. You shouldn't have to get pregnant just to keep Juan. If you don't want to get pregnant, you shouldn't have to. The same thing with Jenny and the Housewives of Salt Lake City. You should not feel obligated to get pregnant if you don't want to, just to keep your marriage alive. oh, Robin, come on now. I want better for you because I know you can get better, but all you have to do is just snip one out of your life. But that's that. So Andy, he calls a break. He's like, okay, everybody, we're going to take a small break right now. Wendy, you could go to Walmart or to Staples to get more, petty receipts and try to make a moment. Everybody, we're going to take a break. So Andy, he proceeds to go in the back and he meets up with Nicki Minaj. And she's in the back in her room. She's getting all glammed up. She's getting all dolled up. She looks pretty, but again, I don't agree with her being a host for this reunion, no matter how short her time is, because again, if she could ask the women questions, can they ask questions to her, or were they obligated somehow to, okay, you're just supposed to sit there and take her roasting you or making fun of you or asking all these hard questions without you saying anything back to her? That's what I really want to see play out. But Andy's like, I know that you can take sides because I don't. And I'm like, Andy, stop with the lies. Like, yes, you do take sides in every reunion, no matter what city. So I don't know. All of a sudden, he's like, oh, yeah, I don't take sides. You can take sides. Andy, you've been taking sides since forever, since this franchise existed. So cut the BS. So then the husbands show up, except two. Of course, Juan and Michael are not there. They're on their way over to the Bahamas together. And I just feel like Andy should make a rule for all the wives across the entire franchise that you need to show up to the reunion with your husband. If not your husband, you need to show up with the last person that you were fucking prior to your husband. Because it's not fair that certain wives bring their husbands to the reunion and they have to get grilled with questions that they probably don't want to answer face to face from Andy, and other husbands, they get off free because they had prior engagements, they're sick, or they have all these other excuses in the world for not being there at the reunion. It's only one day out of the entire year. You can plan around that accordingly, but regardless, all the husbands are there. They all look really, really nice. I love that Chris was promoting Candice's album Deep in My Tissue Box on his shirt. That was so cute. I'm like, look at him on his Kris Jenner shit. And then all of a sudden, Candice gets a phone call all of a sudden from her mom, Dorothy. And I'm like, was this pre-planned? Did Candice purposely tell her, okay, Chris is out here, you could call me right now? Because out of the entire reunion, you choose to call at this very given moment. And then I didn't like Andy's tone when he was like, give me that. I'm like, who the fuck are you, Andy? Like, if I was Candice, I would have been like, no, do you pay my phone bill? No. Are you going to buy me a new phone? No. Who the fuck are you talking to? No. Like, give me that. Who the fuck is Andy? But regardless, Candice gives him the phone, and then he's like, hey, Mama Dot, how are you? So how do you feel about your behavior at the music video shoot? And do you think that Chris, does he deserve an apology? What do you think about all of this? Please speak loudly into the phone.
Fuck him and his broke ass. I don't know why my daughter's with him. He has no money and he's riding off her coattails. That Mr. Clean wannabe looking ass. Oh, wait. Andy, do you have me on speaker? Oh, no. No, Chris is a wonderful guy. He's an amazing person.
Andy starts off with G, Mia's husband, and he's like, we've seen a whole different side of you throughout the season, especially when it comes to getting liquor in your system. Are you always like that? And Mia's like, yeah, he's always like that. He could be a little turned up. And then G is like, I'm not really all like that. I just came out here to have fun, to support my wife. I was just having a good time. And then here's where the hypocrisy comes out of the entire group, because then Andy's like, oh, so Ashley, we saw that you were a little bit bothered by G's behavior, but what about Michael, your own husband? What about his behavior? Isn't he always doing the most and always, being way too sexual out there when nobody really calls for that? And then Ashley proceeds to say, no, I don't really think that he does anything like that. And no, he's not really out there like that the way he is with, like, the way G is. And I'm like, Ashley, what? And then Giselle, to be backpedaling on everything she ever said about Michael, Giselle was just like, no, I don't think Michael has really ever done anything to the extreme the way G has. He's never flicked his tongue or never really, done anything sexually with anybody. And I'm like, what? How can you say that when you and Robin have the biggest issue with Michael's behavior prior seasons where he grabbed Katie's boyfriend's ass, and then I think it was Robin that was just like, is that a white people thing? Like, do they just grab each other's butt like that? Like, is that okay? Were you two not the first two that were questioning Michael's behavior all throughout the entire season? And also, when you guys first met Michael, he took off his pants, I believe, on the balcony of the boat. And Giselle, you had a problem with that back then too. So now all of a sudden Michael is squeaky clean? What? Like, it's crazy how they forget so many things, but then the footage is right there for replay purposes to show us the receipts. And Ashley, again, you're full of shit, because if G is terrible, then so is your husband. Both of them could be labeled in the same boat. G is just a little bit above Michael. He still has some time to kind of, redo himself for next season if he comes around. You know, if he comes around again next season and he also acts a hot ass mess and he starts flicking out his tongue like that, then yeah, he's probably gonna be put in the same position and the same pile as your husband. But to say that your husband is some type of angel is a bunch of BS, because we all know he has grabbed everybody's ass and all the cameraman's ass, and for some reason everybody just continues being okay with that. You know, I don't understand how they're so quick to crucify Candice, but Michael, they're like, oh yeah, he's done so many sexual things to people unwillingly and without consent, but it's okay, we'll just forgive him because it's all funny. But Candice, I can't believe you called Mia's mom low budget. How dare you? No, you need to get the fuck off the show. You know, it's just so funny how they play the both sides so differently. Andy then asks Robin, do you ever feel some type of way that Juan is just never there for you on this show? He's never here at the reunion or on the cast trip when all the couples go together. And Robin, her excuse was pretty sad, because she was just like, well, you know, Juan, his job takes up most of his time. He's always doing the basketball coaching, and that's a job that I have to understand that he's gonna be away for a long period of time. And then I like that Andy kind of like threw in that, oh yeah, Jen Shah. And I'm like, okay, Andy, Jen Shah, she's giving up her life for a different reason, because she's scamming money out of people. But that's a different story, allegedly. But, you know, back to Robin, she continues going on that, you know, he's a black man in a predominant white field, well, a bunch of white people that work this whole entire basketball system, right? And that he has to do everything that he can to kind of stay in there. And I understand that, but at the same time, Robin, Juana can't just take one day to be there for you at the reunion, just to sit behind you for like a couple of hours. It's just one day, you know, but I don't know. Maybe she understands it more than I do, because if I was Robin, I would personally be pissed that my husband wasn't there at least supporting me for this one day so we can both at least be together. He wasn't even with you last year at the reunion. Andy then asks Chris, how is he doing being Candice's husbander and managing her music career? And he's like, I'm not really her husbander and I'm not really managing her career. I'm more of a glorified secretary, if you will. I'm there to refill her tissue boxes when she cries. I'm there to refill her sticky notes. I'm there to kind of do all the important phone calls, or if she needs to make a TikTok video or to choose a filter on an Instagram picture, I'm usually there to support her in those ways. But he doesn't manage Candice's music career like a typical manager would, per se. And then Andy proceeds to ask Chris again, so why do you think that Dorothy rolled her eyes when you said that she has never paid for a bill with your name on it? And then he is a better man than I am, because he was just like, I'm gonna start this conversation off by saying I love my mother-in-law, because if I was Chris, I would have been like, I'm gonna start this conversation off by saying fuck that bitch. Like, absolutely not. You're not gonna drag me on TV, and I'm just not gonna be that forgiving like the way Chris is. You know, I get it that he loves Candice, but no, you're not gonna stomp all over me with your muddy shoes or your muddy high heels and me be good to you and me be nice to you on TV. Absolutely not. But then Chris, he proceeds to explain everything that, you know, I have never quit a job. She has never paid for anything in my name on it. So I don't know where that's coming from. And, you know, he basically just said everything that Dorothy was saying about him is all a lie. And Candice was there to back him up that, yeah, he has never quit a job, but has he been fired? Because that's a whole different game. You know, it's one thing that you're saying that you never quit, but have you been fired? and then Andy proceeds to ask Candice, you know, where's the relationship now with your mom and Chris? And she's like, well, it used to be surface level, but now she doesn't even know where they stand anymore. And it's sad that when Andy said, I don't really think that Dorothy wants to apologize to Chris, it's sad that Chris was just like, yeah, no, it's fine. I don't need an apology. It's okay. It's fine. Like, it is what it is. It's pretty sad, because it's just like, you shouldn't have to be taking that from your mother-in-law. You know, just because you love somebody, in this case, Candice, you shouldn't let somebody else, her mom, just walk all over you like that. It's just not going to work, because then you're going to grow some type of hate towards Candice, and you're going to take it out on her and be like, you know what? I'm starting to hate you because I hate your mother. So eventually that's going to lead to divorce. And I'm just saying that eventually I feel like it's heading that way if Chris and Dorothy don't get it together. Specifically Dorothy. If she doesn't get it together, I don't see Chris sticking around too long around Candice. I mean, it's already bad that he can't really stand her moments where she goes off in front of the group or in front of the other couples, and he's just like, Candice, you need to relax. And she's constantly telling him, you need to shut the fuck up. You need to shut the fuck up. You know, it's all becoming too much. You know, at some point he's gonna have to hit his glass ceiling, like I said in my previous review. And And it was also sad when Candice was just like, yeah, I am a lot like my mom, because those same qualities that she has from her mom are the same qualities that the audience doesn't like Candice for. Because we see how reckless Dorothy is with her mouth when it comes to Candice's own husband. So of course, Candice is going to inherit those same traits of, oh yeah, I see my mom is going to be reckless with her mouth, then I'm going to be reckless with my mouth. And again, she just kind of has to cut those ties between her and her mom. She needs to let those qualities go, because I feel like not only Candice, but people in general, they don't realize that until adulthood, probably, that, oh yeah, I do have certain qualities of my parents that aren't good. I didn't realize it until I got older. Like, oh wait, I've always been in this environment where my mom or dad was around, and I just kind of just picked up on their behavior, and that behavior might not always be good. And in this case, Candice, your behavior and the way you deal with things at times with people and with Chris in your own marriage could sometimes stem from the behavior that you picked up from your mom. You see how your mom talks shit about Chris all the time. So of course you're going to be like, oh, you know what? It's okay for me to talk shit about my own husband. That's why it's okay to just keep a distance from your mom, at least for a minute. I know she's your own mother and you don't want to probably like ice her out of your entire life, but sometimes you gotta do what's right for you. So then Andy brings up the tweets that Mia had tweeted stating, oh yeah, you'll be mad too if you found your husband tossing my salad. And I'm like, what kind of Little Kim lyrics are these? But apparently Mia had tweeted this, and I think I saw it. She had tweeted that about Chris, Candice's husband, and Candice was just like, yeah, I saw that. It was disgusting. It was horrible. And Mia just said that she was just trying to take a jab at Candice. And I'm like, Mia, why would you say that? Why would you even try to, you could take a jab at her, but don't use her husband like that and assume that he was doing something to you or behind Candice's back together like that, because that was a little bit too much. Even Chris was just like, no, I never did anything with her. And on the other hand, with Candice's tweet saying, oh yeah, Mia is handsome, that did come off a little fishy, Candice. What were you trying to imply by calling Mia handsome? Were you trying to imply that she's a man, thus you trying to be transphobic? I don't know. It didn't look good, Candice. So, I didn't like that Mia used her husband as a jab, but at the same time, I don't like you using those type of words either, like to describe Mia, that she's handsome. I don't know. It sounds wrong. G, he was looking confused. G was just like, huh? A salad? What? Wait, I want a Caesar salad too. Can somebody bring me one with croutons? He looked so confused, and Mia was just like, I'll explain that to you back in the car. I told you this before, but I'm gonna tell you again later, okay, G? Don't worry about it. And then Wendy, she kind of lost me here again. I'm like, Wendy, you're acting like this in front of your husband. It's pretty embarrassing, because I think that it was Mia. They both started the conversation, and then Mia and Wendy got into it, and Mia's just like, oh, Wendy, you're insecure because, I can believe it too, because back in the second episode of the season, I believe when they were playing the game with the little boards where they had to write the names down, and then Wendy looked like she told Eddie, you better erase that. That's Mia's name. Ever since that moment, I've always been like, Wendy, I don't know. I could see you kind of maybe looking sideways at Mia just because of that little moment right there. So Mia was just like, Wendy, you're insecure. You're insecure. You need to stop because your man was eyeballing me. And Wendy's like, I shouldn't have to feel insecure because I am Mrs. Osefo and I sell 9-wick candles now. And Karen is not going to be the only one selling candles. And my candles are $50 with a 2% discount on Black Friday this upcoming week. So no, I am Mrs. Osefo. I'm the only man I want to be looking at in the eyeballs is my husband, Eddie. He's right behind me. Right, Eddie? Right? Say yes. And don't say that you want Mia. You better not say that you want Mia. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I only want Eddie. And then she was just like, you're the one that's insecure because this is coming from somebody that said that he tossed your salad. He tossed your salad. He tossed your salad. He tossed your salad.
20 minutes later.
He tossed your salad? He tossed your salad? It was just all so embarrassing. I'm like, Wendy, relax. It's really not that serious for you to get like that. I don't get why she was at a 10. Your husband is right there. And he was probably so embarrassed. He's like, wow, honey, you don't act like this at home, but okay. It was just so embarrassing. And she didn't calm down until Candice was just like, enough, don't give her any more attention. That's that. Andy then asks Eddie what was his opinion and his take on the whole cheating rumors that involved him in it. And he was just like, well, I'm still going to be following those booty pictures. I'm still going to be liking those booty pictures. I'm good. I'm fine. I'm okay. I didn't feel any type of way. I love Wendy and her candles, so it's fine. Giselle, it is what it is. And then Andy's like, Giselle, do you think that you owe Eddie an apology? And Giselle was just like, no, but that wasn't wasn't surprising. I mean, it was surprising, but at the same time, it wasn't surprising. I'm like, damn, Giselle, like, no sorry, no nothing, but you want Karen to apologize to you? But okay, so then they moved the conversation over to Karen and Surrey County, and how, you know, she brought Wi-Fi to the city, and how she also, Andy also asked, so, what was it with the whole Ray bringing up the whole Ladam Candle situation at your speech? What was that about? And then Karen was just like, yeah, he's just very, very supportive. He's just always been by my side. You know, if it wasn't for Ray, I don't think I would be, you know, in this huge empire of mine. And then Chris jumped in because Chris is trying to secure Candice's champagne flute for next season. He was just like, you know what, honey, I think you're fucking it up for yourself and you're about to get yourself iced out of this group. So I need to jump in. So tag me in. Okay, so anyways, so Karen, I just find it funny how he jumped in like, yeah, it's very strange how when I try to do the same thing that Ray does for you, Karen, to Candice, all of a sudden I get labeled as riding her coattails. So what's that about? And then Karen was just like, well, you know, this is me and Ray's situation. So you just mind your business. And then I think they asked Giselle the same question, and Giselle was just like, well, I just think that the difference between you and Candice is that Ray and Karen, they have been supporting each other for 20 plus years. That's the missing component between you and Candice, Chris. And then Chris just let everybody have it. Chris was just like, Karen, Candleline, I can't believe all of you will assume that I had nothing, that I literally just lived on the street or something. I can't believe all of you. And you know what? You too, Wendy. You too. You know what? I just... everybody, because I cannot believe the things that people were saying about me. I can't believe this. And where's Ascala at too? Yeah, Ascala too, because I can't believe that she would even ask Giselle if I was right. Oh wait, she was on my side? Well, it's fine. Her too. You know, I just can't believe the whole situation. Like, you can just tell that Chris was just pissed. He was holding all of this in throughout the entire season, and he was just like, you know what? I'm gonna have my moment at the reunion. But as he was going off on them, I was kind of turned on. I'm like, yes, Chris, get everybody together. Andy then goes back to Karen and he asks Karen, so Karen, is the reason why you and Ray did the whole vow renewal, was it to shade Robin because of her wedding that's probably never going to happen? And Karen was just like, no, that had nothing to do with Robin. And honestly, I would like to believe Karen, because I don't think, yes, she is a petty person, but I don't think that she'll be that petty to do this entire wedding renewal with Ray just to be spiteful against Robin. I mean, that would be just too childish and way too immature. I don't know. That'd be a little bit too much. And then they moved the conversation over to Robin and Ashley, and Andy's like, so Robin, we know that Michael and Juan don't wear each other's rings, the wedding rings to you guys. So what is that about? And then Robin, her excuse is, well, you know, I sold it because, you know, back in the day when he did the whole basketball thing, he was doing certain things that he shouldn't have. So I kind of just sold his wedding ring. But I'm like, you never bothered to like kind of bring that up again to Juan and be like, you know, let's get other wedding rings. Let's get more wedding rings. But I'm assuming that's going to happen at the wedding that's probably never going to happen in the future. That's probably where she's going to give him a new one. And then Ashley, one thing about Ashley, she is going to have 101 excuses for Michael. She was just like, well, the reason why Michael doesn't wear his ring is because, well, Michael's house was broken into by 2 burglars, and, you know, he had to go get eye surgery, and my son flipped his car 5 times, and that's probably why he doesn't wear his ring anymore, because his finger was injured from the whole incident. So that's why, Andy, I'm so sorry for that. And I'm just like, Ashley, just say he's cheating behind your back and he doesn't want to get caught and call it a day. Like, what? So then Andy says goodbye to the husbands, and he also tells the ladies, okay, we're going to take a break right now. I think I'm going to go and freshen up a bit. And then he comes back and all the ladies regroup on the couches. And then he's like, you know, I need tequila right now. I could really use some tequila. Obviously, this is a whole plot to get Nicki Minaj, who's on her way to the stage, to come on the stage finally. And everybody's just like, wait, what? Tequila? Okay, like, what's that about? You know, because this hasn't really happened. Andy hasn't really requested that on reunions. And then next thing you know, Nicki Minaj pops up with a huge bottle of alcohol. And she's like, surprise, bitches. And then Wendy, did you see Wendy, how she... I'm like, Wendy, this is not Juan and Robin's proposal from last season, because she got up and she's like, oh my God, Nicki Minaj, pull up in a Sri Lanka. What? Pull up in a Sri Lanka. What? Nicki Minaj? Oh my God. Hey, Nicki, can I get an autograph? And then Giselle, she was the only one who managed to get a hug from Nicki. Wendy sat her ass back down. Everybody sat back down, and Andy told the ladies, like, okay, Nicki's gonna be the host now, so I'm gonna go. So then she already had her little cards that were pink. I thought that was cute. And then he's like, okay, you get to use my my chair. It's a little wet because we've been here for a couple of hours, so my ass been sweating. So then he gets up and he leaves, and he's right on the side of the stage, like somebody's proud father. He's just like, yeah, yeah, I did this whole show. He looks so proud. So then Nikki sits down, and she came out. I was just like, whoo. Like, again, I don't agree with her being the host of anything for the Housewives because, again, who is she to judge somebody for their husbands or ask anybody for their husbands when her own husband is just, well, we all know that. But her questions, I'm just like, okay, let's see where she goes with it. So she's like, hey, everybody, hey, everybody. She's like, I'm such a big fan of the show. She looks at Ashley, and that's her first target. And she's like, so Ashley, let's talk about you. So all season, you were just with your children, and that's cute and all. But do you think that you went down to the cast trip and tried to cause mess and stir the pot because you had no storyline? So you try to be Giselle's puppet. I'm like, damn, Nikki. I'm like, yikes, you know Ashley deleted her entire Nicki Minaj playlist off her Spotify as soon as this reunion was over. She went from to so quickly. And then Ashley, she was trying to answer, but then Candice jumped in, and Candice was just like, well, she just had a baby right now. And I'm like, wow, Candice, you're defending Ashley over this? But I feel like the reason why Candice was defending Ashley is because, like, between the women on the show, it's one thing they could shade each other and they could be catty with each other or, whatever. But it's one thing for somebody else outside of the group to penetrate the group and try to be shady towards them. And Nicki Minaj has never been a part of the crew or a part of the cast or a part of the show. So who is she to come into the group and try to shade somebody, So I feel like that's where Candice probably jumped into Ashley's defense. Like, no. You're not going to shade her. I can because I've been a part of the show for years with her. And, whether they like it or not, they're kind of like a sorority and they're kind of like family, whether they like each other or not. So again, when somebody like Nicki Minaj comes into the group, it's just like, wait, what are you doing? And then Nicki, she looks at Candice and she's like, whoa, what, Candy Girl? Whoa, what's going on? And then they ended like that. But again, from the preview to the next week, it looks like Nicki's coming in swinging with the questions. And I don't know if the women are allowed to reply to her. I mean, what if the women were genuinely not happy to see her? Like, if they were just like, oh, okay, it's Nicki Minaj, that's that. Like, are they allowed to speak on her husband? Because if she's going to speak on Eddie or Michael or any of the husbands or any of these accusations, they could also ask her questions too. Like, okay, so let's talk about the husband. Let's pull a Kim from the Housewives of Beverly Hills. Like, if you're going to target me for my husband or my wrongdoings, let's target you and your wrongdoings too. If we're going to put everybody's dirt out there, you're no difference either. And that was that, y'all. That was part 3 of the reunion. Let me know what y'all thought about this part of the reunion down in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Bye, y'all. Mwah.